Hi, I'm Dan. This is Neil. Welcome back to SweetBriarMoth. Today we are going over Christmas traditions that were derived from pagan traditions and going from there.
Yule, as we celebrate, finds its roots in a lot of the pre-Christian pagan traditions, which is very interesting when you look at how the Christian Christmas is celebrated now and how it has borrowed many traditions from these old pagan religions.
Yeah, nothing's original.
No.
There's a few pagan traditions that are brought up in Christianity that I feel like a lot of people know. I've seen a lot of the memes where they're just like, did you know that was actually a Yule tradition? Joke's on all of us, it's literally everything. Like, literally everything has just come from paganism. Originality is dead. But like, I think everyone heard about like Christmas trees and like holly and that kind of stuff. So we're gonna try and go over things that maybe you don't know as much and kind of go more in depth on like how it was used in paganism. So first on the list is caroling. So Christmas caroling, you go around singing at houses. Sometimes they donate money, right? But like that was a thing.
I think you like slip them a $5 or something.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like supposed to be for the church or if that was for you. I think I went Christmas caroling once. And I think we just kept that money. I was a kid. I don't know if I did that right.
And sure, I feel like people might like pay me money to stay away if I started yelling at their house.
You can sing better than me, so I don't think so. Anyways, so we know what Christmas caroling is. Basically, they would do what was called wassailing. The translation of that is good health, and they would go around to houses and sing, and they would do it at the harvest as well, and it was there to push all the negative energy and like evil spirits away and protect people for the oncoming year. While they were wassailing, they would usually bring this drink with them. It was like a mulled cider or some kind of like traditional drink that they would make, and they would offer it to people as they would sing, and like sometimes they would do like a trade of like food for the singers and whatever, and it was like a good community bonding kind of thing and just a happy-go-lucky, no evil spirits here kind of songs, There are Christmas songs that you hear now that are from these wassailing like songs. The first one that we had like looked up and like paid attention to was the 12 Days of Christmas. So you had 12 days in which you would celebrate Yule and the midwinter festivals up into the new year. So that whole song is derived from them celebrating in that time. Carol of the Bells is another one. If you can look it up, it has like, obviously it's not in English, but they have like the old like way of singing it.
Yeah, it was actually a Ukrainian pagan chant that was Americanized and Christianized and brought over to the US and became Carol of the Bells, which is a lot less cool than the original.
Yeah, the original, I'm gonna completely screw up the name. It was Shadurk, right?
I have no idea.
It translates to the little swallow, but it's like enchanting if you listen to it.
Another popular tradition that has pagan roots is the practice of decking the halls. Bringing greenery inside the home during the dead of midwinter represents life. It represents the rebirth of the sun in the wheel of the year. December 21st in the Northern Hemisphere is the winter solstice, meaning it's the longest night of the year and days start getting longer after that. Some of these evergreens have their own importance. For instance, holly was placed by a door to trap any evil spirits that tried to get in. In some pagan cultures, there was the idea of the Holly King who defeated during midwinter the Oak King who ruled summer, thus bringing in winter. Mistletoe also has its own set of beliefs around it. It's obviously a sign of peace and love. We know the modern tradition of kissing under the mistletoe. But further than that, Norse warriors would lay down their swords on the battlefield if they found mistletoe where they were fighting, and they kind of call a truce for the night. Mistletoe was particularly sacred to the Norse goddess Frigga, who was the goddess of love. I know Druids used to use mistletoe to aid fertility as well.
Wasn't it also that mistletoe, it's a partial parasitic plant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it spread because people spread it. It was like it would take properties from the tree or the whatever it was growing off of, and then also have that.
Yeah.
Which was nifty.
Yeah, there was, when we were doing research for this, I had read something about mistletoe specifically that grew on an oak tree was very much sought after by druids and people who would make potions.
Nifty. I just cracked. Oh my god. One of my favorites is actually Santa Claus is from paganism. And I think that's nifty. And it's crazy. So we did our research on it, making sure that we actually knew exactly what we're talking about before saying it. Because you think you know, and then you look it up and you're like, oh, I didn't know that. But Santa was actually, like, even the newest like version of Santa was literally created by Coca-Cola in like 1930s, 1931.
Yeah, sounds right.
And I mean, I guess that would make sense why I wouldn't know it. Like the 30s, obviously I was not here. But even just thinking that, because you think Santa's such like an old character, but like for somehow like Santa Claus as we know is like not that old. He's really not. I mean, what he comes from is, but like the Santa that like is all over the stores and everything, he's newer. And it's crazy to me because they make him seem like, you know, he's been here forever.
I mean, if Santa was made in 1931, Santa would be like, what, 92 right now?
Yeah. There are people who were alive before this version of Santa.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the oldest version of where they think Santa came from was from Odin. There were similarities in how he acted and what he did, and they had the one where they start like matching up, you know, like Santa and like Odin. You're like, oh my god, that's fucking hilarious. Odin had an 8-legged horse, and there are 8 reindeers, so it's like funny. He would give gifts to kids. In Norse mythology, the kids would leave a little boot full of like hay and carrots by the fireplace, and it was supposed to feed the horse, whose name is
Sleipnir.
Sleipnir. I know I can't pronounce things. Please don't yell at me.
Don't come in here for pronunciations.
Don't. It'll be wrong. It'll be so wrong. I can't even pronounce normal words. Anyways, the horse would eat what the kids left, and then he would leave things for the kids in the boots. And it goes on to, we'll talk about it later, but I just said the whole thing about stockings.
I know.
After Odin, there was Father Christmas / Saint Nicholas. He was from the 4th century, like, bishop from Turkey, when now is Turkey.
Yeah.
He was known for giving gifts to kids and stuff, so like, you know.
To the needy and to the poor, and he was the saint of children, the poor, and prostitutes.
Which, go him, I like him. He seems like a good time.
Yeah, seems like a good guy.
St. Nicholas Day is December 6th.
Which ties it right into our Yule celebrations.
Yeah, boom. Santa. He's
an amalgamation of characters.
Yeah.
Christmas lights are another part of the season that, I like going to look at Christmas lights. They're fun.
Yes.
They're fun.
Classic.
They're classic. But it comes from the idea, Yule is the rebirth of the sun. It's the rebirth of light. So using light to celebrate, before it was your fun bulbs outside and crazy lawn displays, it was candles. Something everyone who has celebrated Yule may be familiar with is the idea of the Yule log. Originally, the Yule log was a whole tree that was like brought inside, put into the hearth, and burned for the 12 days.
Slightly push it as it burns.
Exactly. Like a glue gun stick.
How many house fires?
Probably a few.
Almost all of them, I assume.
Almost all of them.
I would wager that it is far too many.
I would not suggest trying this at home. No. But it was a whole tree, and that's actually what seems to be the origination of the Christmas tree, right? We knew it had pagan roots, but this is it. It was a tree that fed the fire for the 12 days of the midwinter celebrations.
Which is crazy, because I don't know when they like split the two of being like, we'll keep the tree and decorate it, because even when you do a Yule log, you decorate it and then you burn it. And eventually someone was like, just keep that in the corner.
Yeah.
They look pretty. Oh.
Less house fires.
Less house fires.
That's probably it.
That definitely happened.
But you're absolutely right, because they would adorn the tree with different oils and different substances to make it smell good or make it burn different colors.
And like different locations, different trees were like what you were supposed to use. Like I know oak was one of them, and we had read about it, but I don't remember any of the other trees. They had specific ones that like were the best, you know?
Right. Awesome.
I think the Christmas lights are really important. I don't know, you know, where everyone else is, but it gets really dark here really fast. We're in Michigan. But so like our sun is down at what, like 4:35 now.
Yeah.
It's funny to look at it from like an outside view and then think about it in like the pagan roots and everything. But like the lights really do make everything a little bit better. It's so dark. And like even just normal lights are kind of like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. But like you go down a street and all of it is lit up with all these colorful things, and you know, it's winter, so it's like you either got like the brown dead of the grass or you have snow. And so the lights really do pick up your spirits a little bit.
Definitely that boost of serotonin in the darkness.
Oh yeah. You get a good house with a lot of decorations. You're like, oh, this is no one. If I had a bowl of what is this?
Oh, a sailing bowl.
A sailing bowl. Oh, you best believe. Take a little sipple dribble of this community bowl. You brought me happiness, good sir.
And I bring you good health.
I mean, maybe not with like COVID. Like we probably shouldn't share a bowl, but
yeah. Thanks, COVID.
maybe I'll bring them their own bowl. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. I don't know.
Yes.
Like a little Capri Sun. Everyone
gonna
gets their
walk
own
around with
whistle.
Capri Sun, the new Wassailing bowl.
Those are basically the ones that we put together for this little video. Didn't want to make it too long, you know? And yeah, I thought it was like a really cool thing because I know Christianity is really big, so a lot of people have Christian family members, and at least in America, a lot of the celebrations are oriented around Christianity, which I don't really have a problem with, but you know, when you're like someone, you're like, man, I should be doing Yule stuff, but now I'm at this thing doing Christmas stuff, because this is what's out there. It's kind of cool to know that really what you're doing is most likely still a celebration of Yule. Just knowing the connections is nice. It makes you feel like you're doing what you want to do.
Absolutely.
I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed Neil. You'll be back. I don't like doing stuff by myself. We are planning on actually releasing a few videos for Yule. The next one we are going to do rituals.
Yep.
So that one should be out soon. Hopefully. You'll see.
You'll see.
We had a few other ideas, but we're gonna figure it out. So yeah, if you want to watch them, do that. If you don't,
Don't.
that's it. All right.